Orange Misfit back again. While other people my age are living life to the fullest, I'm here sitting around talking about Pokemon cards. But that's okay because I got a great list ahead to share. So we're going to kick things off with number 141, that old Team Rocket favorite.
141, Meowth. Meowth, that's wrong. That's not how you make a good card. Well, it's got an okay HP and resistance, but its attack is where it lets us down. Payday. The 2 energy cost me solve the double colorless, but even then, why bother? It does 10 damage as a 50% chance of drawing a card. Sure, extra cards are a huge advantage in this game, but the 2 energy cost isn't really worth it for only a chance you might get one. The measly 10 damage doesn't help either. It's one of the more unique card effects in the game, but since it's not a guarantee, and Meowth is vulnerable to cards like Hitmonchan and Machop, while only being able to dish out 10 damage, means you're not going to get a whole lot of opportunities to even get that extra card. 140, Pidgey. Much like in the video game, Pidgey is weak and ineffective. It has a mildly unique move in Whirlwind, but all it can serve as is a temporary annoyance, and once you use it again, they're just going to switch back to the original Pokemon it had and clobber you while you've only managed to do a measly 20 damage. Fortunately, one double colorless energy powers it up, but there are numerous better options out there. At least it has a resistance, which means it can survive some powerful fighting types, but any electricity attack is usually enough to one-hit KO him. With a low HP, generally niche attack and ineffective typing, Pidgey just doesn't make the cut. 139, Mankey. Thank goodness Mankey has a Pokemon power, otherwise he'd be one of the absolute worst cards in the game, instead of just a very below average one. It's not really that great of a Pokemon power. The best use would be to place Mankey on the bench and then strategically look at your prizes, maybe yours or your opponent's top card in the deck after that, and then their hand if you got nothing better to do. It'd be absolutely idiotic to use Mankey to attack as he has 30 HP and a 10 damage no condition attack. His best position is on the bench, peeking away. 138, Zubat. The most annoying Pokemon in the game represented in card form. It's not that annoying, but it sure is weak. Supersonic is expensive and worthless for only a 50% chance of confusing your opponent, and it doesn't even deal any damage. Leech Life is also bad as it costs 2 energy and only heals for 10 and does 10 damage, meaning unless you're fighting something as weak as Zubat, you're probably going to end up dying anyway, just a little bit slower. Its resistance makes it a little less awful, but its HP and poor attack pool make it a lot more horrible. 137, Nidoran Male. He is too fickle to be usable. That 1 energy for 30 damage might seem like a good attack, but when you figure that it's going to do absolutely nothing half the time, you're going to end up wishing you had better options. Since that's its only attack, you're going to be nearly helpless and defenseless until you can evolve it. And since it only does 30 damage and most basic first stages have 40 HP, you'll need to land another attack to finish him off. If Nidoran had another attack that just did 10 damage with no conditions, he'd be much better, but with a low HP and risky attack, he's next to useless. 136, Abra. For a powerful psychic type with untapped potential, Abra is an embarrassing weakling, but just like in the game, you have to evolve it to get some use out of it. Sending Abra out is really foolish as it has a sad 30 HP and a weak paralysis attack. You're much better off powering it up on the bench and waiting to evolve because it's too fragile to send out or defend itself. Its free retreat costs help, but its risky typing and otherwise poor stats hurt it far more. 135, Geodude. Geodude has the potential to do 10,000 damage on 2 energy costs, but more likely you'll end up doing only 10, 20 if you're lucky. Geodude is too unreliable to be good, and having no idea how much damage it'll do, with a fairly likely chance it'll do 0, is never a good strategy. If that attack costs 1 energy, it'd be a little better, but for 2, it's overpriced and ineffective. It has a decent first stage HP, but no resistance, which is not only incorrect for a ground type, but also means there are far better rock options out there. 134, Doduo. Most of the first stage flying types are substandard options in the card game, and Doduo fits the mold. It has 50 HP, a free retreat cost, and a fighting resistance, which are all okay, but its attack is crummy. Fury Attack will most likely end up doing 10 damage. The fact that it's going to do 20 as often as 0 is a poor trade-off and too unreliable. And as a reminder, the standard result of doing 10 damage for 1 energy is the absolute minimum of expectation in the original card game. Regardless, Doduo is better than Pidgey, but inferior to Spearow. 133, Rattata. Rattata is what you expect of Rattata. Much like Pidgey, it's pretty much a common joke will be knocked out as quick as you can start it up. Fortunately, it at least packs a mild wallop, and for 1 colorless energy, it can deliver 20 damage. However, Rattata is clearly outclassed by just about every other first stage, especially Machop, who can kill with 1 hit and 1 energy. It has no retreat cost, but it doesn't matter because both Machop or Hitmonchan will most likely kill it before it can retreat. Having resistance helps a little, but Rattata has too little HP and a common weakness to prevent it from being anything of a factor in any deck. 132, Seal. The Pokemon with the least original name gets the least original card treatment. It has 1 attack that does 10 damage for 1 energy, painfully droll. Seal's only advantage is its high HP. At least with 60, it could get 1 or 2 more 10 damage attacks in than other basic Pokemon. Seal should be a little thankful considering there are cards out there with the same attack that only have 30 HP. So does that going for it.
That's another 10 cards down, more than 100 to go. I said I'll get to these videos a little bit quicker, and I intend to keep that vague promise. So see you next time with a new installment.